This lesson is going to be on blood alcohol concentration, or also known as BAC. It's going to kind of help you understand how a BAC is kind of calculated. There are different ways to actually figure out the blood alcohol levels of a person. The main one you guys all know of is a breathalyzer test. You can also have a blood drawn, and just as you as an individual can kind of figure out based on how many you've had, or how individuals have the number of drinks per hour, will help you decide whether that person is intoxicated, past the legal limit, whatever that case may be. A lot of times you can look at a person and understand based on their characteristics, what they're doing and things like that, they might be under the influence of some level of alcohol. That's what that first table is over here. It's going to give you kind of like where people's characteristics and judgments are based on their BAC. Then we have a table here that's just very basic and generic based on weight and number of drinks per hour. And this is about average data of males and females. So you can look at if you have here, so let's zoom in on this little chart. If we have here an individual who's, 120 pounds and they have 2 drinks, then their blood alcohol would be 0.07. Now, that's just the number of drinks. That doesn't take into account how many hours and things and what their the sex of the individual, what is their overall consumption, like the amount. So I could have a number of drinks, but is that a 5-ounce glass of wine, or was it an 8-ounce glass of wine? Was that a 12-ounce beer? Was it a 16-ounce beer? All of those factors will change these things. So these are just based on number of drinks, and your amount of alcohol can vary. So this is a very basic chart, but we can always, consider those factors afterwards. But we're going to just use this basic chart, but there are other ways to figure it out. The main thing we have to also take into consideration is, food consumption, how fast someone does it. So obviously if someone chugs a beer versus drinking a beer throughout the hour, because your body can only metabolize so much alcohol an hour. And when we do this calculation, you're going to look at, okay, did you drink for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever that factor may be, and there's this number down here, this 0.015, you're going to subtract that from your overall BAC for every hour that person was drinking for. So if someone was out there for 4 hours, you're going to take 4 times 0.015 and then subtract that value from their overall BAC. So the purpose of this worksheet is very simple. We're going to do the basics in terms of calculating these 2 scenarios, and then you'll have 2 to practice on your own. So first thing is, we have a female, 165 pounds, had about 4 drinks in a matter of 5 hours. Okay, so we have the 165 pounds. So we have 60, we had 4 drinks. So we have roughly 0.11, okay? And obviously you're just going to round down to the smaller weight class at this point. To round up to the 180, that would be too much. So we're going to round down to 160, and we're going to say that the blood alcohol level right now, without anything else, is 0.11. Now, obviously, that person is fairly intoxicated. If you look at the chart here, possible vomiting, drowsiness, loss of critical judgment, impairment of memory, comprehension, impairment of vision. So that's anywhere from 0.11 to 0.13. Now, that's just if they have 4 drinks, and we don't know how many hours this has gone by. If that was 4 drinks in an hour, that would be a lot, okay? Yes, that person would be fairly intoxicated. Now, if it's in a matter of that 5 hours, what you're going to do is you're going to take that 5, we're going to multiply it by that 0.015 factor. Okay, so that gives me the 0.075. So I can now take my 0.11 minus that 0.75. And that actually brings this blood alcohol level down to 0.035. Huge difference. Okay, that's definitely saying that person mildly relaxed, sociable, talkative, whatever. So there is a huge difference when it is in terms of, did that person have 4 drinks in that hour, or was it spread out over some time? Now, again, if that person had just had a huge dinner in between there, that's also going to help it, okay? So that's just the factors that you have to read into in terms of scenarios that have happened. Now, obviously, at a crime scene and things like that, they're not going to be able to really know. They're going to take and put in and take blood draws and things like that. Now, the only downside to that is, yes, your body will start shutting down once you have passed on, but your body could have been, for a while, processing that alcohol level out based on how long that took for that body to, completely stop functioning and all of that. But they can draw that level of blood. Now, for a male, let's do this one for 212. So again, let's go to 212 pounds. So we have 200. I'm going to round down that 200 mark. In this scenario, we have 7 drinks. So at 7 drinks, that person would be 0.19 for the BAC in this case. Okay, so 0.19, that's very drunk, may lose consciousness. We're at that point. But there's a new factor here. This one was also within a 5-hour time frame. So if we take that 5 hours again, 0.15 equals 0.075. So you can take the 0.19, subtract 0.075, and we would get 0.115. Still fairly intoxicated, not to the point of being extremely drunk and lose consciousness, but they could be drowsiness, could be vomiting at this point. But again, that doesn't take into a factor of that person drink 5 drinks of 12-ounce beers. Was that 5 shots? Was it 5 mixed drinks that were double the alcohol content? Did they have a big meal? Did they not eat at all? So these are just kind of the basic calculations. So what you're going to do now is you have your worksheet here. Okay, I give you a couple scenarios, so make sure you watch the Ed Puzzle. This would be the link here as this video here, and then complete the following calculations. You're going to look at, okay, I have a 135-pound girl, figure out the time frame, figure out the descriptions from this page. Is she driving intoxicating according to the state law? Please explain. Then you get down to scenario 2, and you're going to answer these questions as well. Please make sure you show your work as to how you figured out your BAC. Don't just give me an answer because I will not give you full credit. Let me know if you have any further questions on this assignment.